Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Even and Wings podcast, the podcast that is about border grassroots rugby. Every week we try and bring you a special guest, and this week is no different. Coach Wings, who did you bring for us today?
Hey, how's it going, Evie? Thanks for having us again on your show. I hope it's going well in the Netherlands there. Today we've got a special guest. We've got Jono Kruger with us today. I heard about him through a friend, and I thought we have to get Jono on the program to explain to us what he's doing at the Cove. He runs an initiative called EduSport. And he's doing great things. And we welcome him to our program today. Jono, welcome, and it's really nice to have you here on our show.
How's it, guys? How's it, Ivan and Coach Wings? I'd like to know where the Coach Wings names come from, Carl. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Wings comes from my brother gave me that name when I was like in matric or something, and it just stuck. So everybody calls me Wings. Yeah, it can't be explained. I don't know where he got that from.
Not because of the position on the field.
Yeah, I should have played wing because I'm skinny and fast, but I thought I was a flower off. I was literally the worst flower off ever. But I should have been a wing, yeah.
Great. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Jono, can you tell us a little bit more about the Edu Sport program there that you run? What's going on at the Cove and how it all started?
So yeah, thanks, guys. I might have a bald head, but I do wear a few different hats, and one of the hats that I wear started back in 2006 when I came onto this piece of land. We were running youth camps, and immediately after being here, I realized that there's potential. We've got 90 hectares of land that is owned in a trust. And a couple of years ago, I joined the trust, and we've been doing camps throughout the years. And as we've generated income from those youth camps, we've just put it back into the facility. And I'd say in the last 3 years, we've really started to accelerate in terms of our development. We now have a 600-seater hall, fully operational kitchen. And the end of November, we'll have 2 dormitories, a boys and a girls, that will sleep 140 youth here on the facility. And all of that's geared towards youth empowerment. And so the founding document of this trust that owns the land was really put in a way that said everything we're going to do is going to gear towards youth empowerment. And so that's what we do in a nutshell. We run 2 academies, a junior one for under 10s and under 13s. And yeah, I could tell you a little bit more details about that, but let me not get ahead of myself.
Yeah, Jono, please. We really want to know, practically what's going on there and how you are combining sport and education and where the kids are coming from that are coming to your program.
So I've always had a desire and interest in social impact and social good. And from an early age, I was doing things in the community. My friend, I used to play rugby full time, and one of my friends in the team, his name's Tiger Mangweni, from this area. In fact, just over the hill behind me is Newlands, and he's from that village. He approached me when we were still playing and said he's doing development coaching in the community. The structures that used to be there that allowed him to climb the ranks of the rugby levels as a Blue Bulls, as a Stormers player, and he even played Springbok A's. Those structures weren't in place anymore. And so he had a real desire and passion to give back to his community. And so we started back in 2007 with an NGO called Champions Development. And what we did was we just used some of the provincial, the permanent players, the contracted players in those days, and we'd use maybe every second day or so, we'd go out into the communities and use our coaching skills just to give back to the community. And that's where it really started. And over the years, Tiger went and played, obviously, in Cape Town and Pretoria. And but in recent years, when we established the field behind me, also an ex-player of mine, a friend that was a player with me, very close friend, Till Swart, passed away, and in 2019, and then that's where we decided to, because he had done a lot of the work with me in the community, we decided to set up a rugby field and call it the Dilswarts Field, and that happened through the support of Riga's plant hire, and then I think from there things started to really accelerate.
Okay, and so the kids there that you were talking about, the kind of different age groups that you work with, a typical day, or what does a typical week look like at the Cove?
So our starting point is a program called Coach in the Box. It was an initiative that we started um, with this idea of how do we impact the community, how do we uplift the community, how do we empower the community to uplift the community. And so the starting place with Coach in the Box is we provide employment for unemployed youth in the form of social impact jobs. We now have 5 boxes. It's rugby, netball, literacy, numeracy, empowerment box, which is actually qualified social workers that form this holistic empowerment. And so that's where it started. Last year, we got funding for 30 coaches. 15 were literacy, 15 were rugby coaches, and we placed them in a township called Mdantsane, and we focused in one area. There's a whole lot of units in Mdantsane called NUs, and we focused in NU1, and so we're in about 7 schools in NU1, just primary schools, and we placed our coaches there. We now have a pilot project that has all 5 boxes in one of the schools, and we're looking to accelerate that. So the Coach in the Box program is really just a school-based intervention program, and from there it flowed into our afternoon program, which is what you see behind me. If I could take 2 steps back quickly, I was doing a lot of the work here at the Cove, just in my private time. I was a teacher at a school called Selborne College, all boys school. Love their rugby there too, and I was in the coaching setups and still trying to do the NGO work on the side when a company called the Mdantsane Group, who owns all the spas and the builders in Mdantsane, approached me and said, "We see all the work that you're doing. We see that you're wanting to take it to the next level, but you kind of stuck in a classroom." So ex-rugby player, English teacher teaching Othello and Macbeth, when my heart was really out here in the community. And so what they did is they allowed me to go full-time from the beginning of last year. And that has been the game changer, in my opinion. If it wasn't for the Mdantsane Group looking at the bigger picture, they're not just about profit, they're about purpose. And so they gave me the wings, Coach Wings. They gave me the wings to do the work that I needed to do. And so since the beginning of last year, I've been full-time here at the Cove and setting up the programs in the community. And so we're 5 kilometers away from Mdantsane. And so the Coach in the Box program is something we're looking to scale and model into all the different areas in this community. Again, coming back to this desire from Tiger, wanting to see the development structures back in the community. We're using Coach in the Box as a way to get school-based intervention, teaching kids, taking the opportunity to the kids at a school, teaching a kid or letting them experience what it feels like to hold a rugby ball, to pass for the first time. We call it class and grass. We really just go to them in their classroom and do literacy and numeracy support. And then the grass, we find a patch right next to their school and we literally start teaching them basics in terms of passing. Those that show interest, then we've selected and gravitate to what we call the Cubs Academy. So it's from Coach in the Box to then Cubs Academy, which is a squad that was selected from the groups of kids in the schools that we serve. And so the Cubs Academy has been running for the year. It's proudly sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, and Spa and Build It have also been instrumental in the work that we're doing here. And so every day we collect the kids from the collection points at the schools. We bring them here to this facility, and maybe you can't see, but this facility speaks of excellence. We make sure that it's maintained and it keeps up to scratch. We've got a massive hall, so they'll arrive and the two groups will split, and one group will go on the field. We've got 4 rugby coaches and we've got 3 academic tutors, and the groups will split. One group will get their academic session, and what that means in a nutshell is we have taken all the reports from the kids that are coming to so we know where their standards are, we know what to work on, and so there's that tutoring that takes place while the coaches are with the other group. And then after a period of time, I think it's about 45 minutes, they swap over. And then at the end, we give them a cooked meal. And the whole program is run from what were unemployed youth from the community. They're now employed. We've got 2 staff that have worked in catering that were trained up and now work in our kitchen. And so that's it in a nutshell. But I mean, obviously, you can ask more questions. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep talking for ages.
With the Cubs Academy, what's the plan for that going forward? Is it just about teaching them their skills and improving their skills? And where would they then actually play matches? Will that be through the Cubs, or do they then link in with one of the clubs in their area?
Thanks. That's a great question. We've got quite an audacious dream. We'd love to see a fully fledged high school rugby academy for developing youth. We do see pathways. We're also looking into a women's rugby academy at the start of next year, and that would be for matriculants or post-matrics. And so to answer your question, we're definitely looking at trying to develop from grassroots, really young age, and then looking for a pathway for the kids. So some of the kids, we don't quite have that exit strategy answered yet, but we do know that as we develop in terms of the facility and our capacity, we would then start a more senior group and try to flow with them. We do recognize that the talent pool that we have at the moment is from a tiny little area of like 5 or 6 schools, because the schools in Mdantsane are broken up into junior primary and senior primary. And so we do have matches. We've played a couple of matches this year. Some of the kids started in the beginning of the year never touching a rugby ball to playing rugby matches, and they've this is a great place to host some of those matches. So some of the schools get to come out here and see what we're about. And so what we're really wanting to do is continue the Coach in the Box program to scale it so that we have a broader net of talent pool that we can bring into this facility. We, without sharing too much, we do have a potential of scaling to across the province with partnerships from Social Development, Department of Sport. So there is some exciting prospects going forward, not only for the junior boys, but also for the women's rugby.
Tell me a little bit about working with the schools that you have worked with. How receptive were they for the idea?
Yeah, I think the schools, I think there's a huge, they say that South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. And when you look at the schooling system from 15 kilometers back into town in the city of East London, and the schooling system in Mdantsane, and some of the challenges they have compared to how easy we have, there's definitely this disparity or this dichotomy between, sourced schools. I think there's a stat that says only 71% of our schools in the Eastern Cape have no sporting facilities, no sporting equipment. And that just lends itself to the fact that we have the least participation in sport in this province, in the whole country. And so when you go to a school and there's nothing going on there, they're more than happy to some of the young coaches that we've trained and equipped and used with the Coach in the Box program are actually from the community. Some of the teachers remember them coming through the primary school. And so it's a community run program. But yeah, the schools have been open arms. I mean, it's a service that we're providing that doesn't take anything away from the school. It's just supporting them. So every school should have physical education lessons. We're saying we'll provide a rugby and a netball coach to the boys and girls so that now they have something, a skilled coach that can actually coach and develop them in those periods where before they would just be milling around, in between the classes. Our literacy and numeracy is a program that we take kids out. We assess them before we take kids out of the class, and we do one-on-one coaching in small groups. And so that actually fast tracks a lot of these kids with their literacy and numeracy. And so we've seen nothing but warm reception from the schools. Um, yeah, I think it's not a easy. I mean, it's not a difficult sell. It's quite an easy one. The schools have been very welcoming.
And how many kids have you currently got in the Cubs Academy?
We've got a squad of 30 under 10s and 30 under 13s.
I just want to say, that stat is quite alarming. Where like 70% of the schools don't offer sport, and we all know what kind of role sport plays in a child's life. It gives them something to dream about. It gives them hope. Something to look forward to. Being out there at the Cove and seeing this impact that you make on their lives must be quite rewarding for you. What sort of success stories have you come across and seen in the last while that you've been at the Cove?
Thanks, Coach. I firstly want to say that all the success that you see here is also needs to be said that it's the hard work from our committee, and there's a group of trustees, and they particularly two men in the background that do a lot of the work that you see here. This facility is self-sustainable in a sense that we are generating income through weddings and functions and corporate team buildings and all sorts of things. So the academy is the cherry on the top, but we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make this a beautiful facility. And so the success for me is being here years ago with this group of men, Roger Tutt and Rory Bryson Clark, and dreaming of what this place could be. It was just bush, literally just bush, and now we have these beautiful buildings and facilities. And so that for me is already a success. The fact that we can sit here and there's Wi-Fi and we talking, that is already a success. But I think what you were asking is some of the success stories, particularly within the academy. One that comes to mind is there was a taxi strikes maybe a month or two ago, and none of the kids could get here. We have a partnership with social development where they transport our kids, and the buses weren't able to collect the kids because of this strike, and there were literally taxi guys walking around in the schools making sure no one else did public transport. And so one Friday, Roger phoned me and said, Luba's here. He's a little under 10 boy. I said, that's impossible. The buses didn't fetch the kids from the schools. And he said, well, it's Friday afternoon and Luba's here. And Luba's school is about 7 kilometers away from us. And so Roger, who can speak the language, spoke to Luba and said, Luba, what are you doing here? The buses didn't collect. And Luba said he wasn't sure if the buses were coming or not. And just in case there was an academy going and he missed it, he ran 7 kilometers from his school all the way down this dirt road to the facility just to make sure that he didn't miss a program. And for me, that is a success story. That is showing what type of program we run and what it means to the boys. We have broadened our offerings in that during this week at school holidays, we have a holiday club for the academy. And so we've invited other NGOs to join us. And so their coaches come in, and we've provided a whole range of games and activities and team building initiatives for the kids. We also, every Friday, we've partnered with Waves for Change, who does a surf and surf therapy and mental health wellness program for kids. And so our under 13s every Friday get to go to the Orient Beach, learn how to swim, learn how to surf, and go through their program. And so the Cubs Academy is becoming more holistic in terms of how do we help this young kid in all aspects. And I think there's this coin of sport for development, and then there's sport development, and we kind of toy with both. So, maybe we'll find the next Sia Kolisi or Makazolo Mpimpi. I'm pretty sure we will eventually. But the point is, it's how many lives have been impacted through the program that we are running, through the experiences that they've had. And so, those are the success stories. Young kids that couldn't write more than their name, and we had one in our academic tutoring, couldn't write more than his name, and the letter R, and he's in grade 6, so he's been on his report he gets 56% for English, but he's just been pushed through over the years. We're able to see that and now take him back to the foundational literacy and phonics levels and help him catch up. And so those are the small success stories that maybe not everyone gets to see, but it makes what we do here very significant and very meaningful.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jono. Thanks for that. Yeah, I know every day you must see these awesome things. I sometimes have a look at your status on WhatsApp and I see the guys doing like an awesome little team building drill or something like that, and I think, yeah, what they experience there in their lives, where they wouldn't have had that opportunity, is unmeasurable in their lives. And what you guys are doing there is truly amazing. Tell me, one question I do have is those under 10s and those under 13s, do they have a league that they play in? So have they got games, like a roster of games that they play other schools or something like that?
Yeah, thanks, Carl. So they do have in their community. They every now and then they'll have like uh, it's like a rugby day, but what I'm seeing, and I'm speaking quite frankly, is the guys are very keen to just throw a team together and play and have fun. And you see a tournament here and you see a tournament there, but not a lot is happening in terms of the actual development coaching. Who is with these kids on the ground level, teaching the kids how to pass? And so they do get opportunities every now and then in the community. But near the end of the year, obviously rugby season's finished now. We were starting to play maybe every second weekend, in terms of matches. And so we do want to develop academy that is active, that plays a lot of matches. It was our first year up and running, so I think the kids were a little green. We did throw them into the Lillyfontein Sevens tournament, threw them in the deep end there and let them just discover some things that grew immensely. And along the way, there's also young, passionate coaches that are growing and developing in their skills as they're getting training. And so, yeah, to answer your question, the community gives opportunities every now and then. They'll play as a school, but it's few and far between in terms of them actually kicking on in the rugby sense of things.
Just a last question from my side. With all of the work that you've done in the communities and these schools, what are kind of the biggest challenges that you've seen, and what things, if you could just list the one or two things, kind of in a general way, what would make a massive difference for a more positive future?
Okay, I think so a very good question. I think we need to link up social impact and social entrepreneurship in a sense that first of all, we need to find those stipends that are available for young people to get work experience. We need coach in the box in every school in the rural communities around here, so that we can give kids opportunities. It's not okay that a kid can be born into privilege and go to beautiful schools, and some then don't get the opportunities just because of. And so what I'm trying to say is we would need to get more placements so that we can give unemployed youth opportunities in the community. What we need to do is somehow try and find a sustainable model that we can set up afternoon programs in the community that could generate an income for the coaches. And I think from there, we would then have a massive talent pool. We're looking at a pathway that started at, from coach in the box, which is class and grass, then goes into a club level, which is the afternoon Cubs Academy program. Then we want to go into camps where we have regional camps that bring in some of the talent here, and they can actually come in as almost like a EPD, a lead player development program. We want to identify those talented youth. We do see a facility where we could accommodate and actually educate some really talented youth and create a pathway for them so that they've got opportunities. I know in the border region, I played for the Bulldogs, but for a really talented youth, what opportunities do they have? Can we link them up to better opportunities, or can we grow our own strength in this community? To answer your question, I think we would need sustainable models so that we can reach more kids, giving them more opportunities, more pathways. Not every kid will become a Springbok, but I think the lessons that learn from rugby is going to put them in good stead going forward. I personally am not a fan of sending kids to other provinces. I think growing up in your community and your environment is the healthiest option when your family base is available to you. But when a kid leaves school and they now have opportunities, we could partner with other unions. Without saying too much, we've already had a visit from one of the unions that's shown interest in partnering with us. And so we are actively looking for those pathways. Maybe one day EduSport will become an agent for talented players, and we will develop and give them the best opportunity in life possible.
Awesome. Well, Jono, thank you very much. But before we say goodbye, can you please just share with the viewers how they can get hold of you, where they can find you on social media, website, etc.? And by the way, I will link all of those details below, and also a link to one or two of the videos that you can find online.
I think the first place is www.edusportyouth.org. That's our website, and I think the details are on there. We also have a Facebook page and Instagram. I'm not very good with social media, but there are those pages available. And then my contact details would be on the website. So, and if you're ever in the area of Buffalo City, East London, you're welcome to pop past to the Cove. Coach Wings owes me a visit, so I'm sure he'll be here soon.
Yeah, Jono, I'm definitely gonna come and pay you a visit over there. It's interesting that it's also a wedding venue and all of those things as well. I saw you guys had an event there the other day as well. So that's very nice. It's good that you guys are using the venue there to obviously create revenue and to fund the Cove and the program. But I do owe you a visit, and I want to come and see what you guys are up to there. It looks amazing. The background there where you are and what I see behind you. It's not a bad office that you're sitting in, but it's amazing work that you're doing. It's people like you that we just need more of. People that see the bigger picture and that go out there and get the job done and have a heart for helping and doing good. And what you do in the kids' lives and for the community is, like I said, it's unmeasurable. Congrats to you guys and your team, obviously, that put in all the hard work and the hours and everything that you guys are doing there. Truly incredible. And I'll come visit you guys soon and say, how's it?
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this episode. I hope that you have enjoyed it as we have. And until next time, thanks for watching. 3, 2, 1.